Hi, my name is Samantha and welcome to today's video. Today is going to be a get to know me and my sewing journey. Let's get into it. We've had a lot of new subscribers here recently, so I just wanted to hop on and share a little bit about me, how I got here, what my goals are, what I'm trying to do. So a little bit about me. I am born and raised in Virginia. My name is my channel name. My name is Samantha Tansley. I am from a blended family. I grew up in Northern Virginia. I graduated in 2015. I'm 25 years old. I'm very tall. I'm 5'1" and a half. The half counts. My sewing journey started back in middle school. I did take a home ec class and I made a pillow or a drawstring bag or something. I don't really remember. It's pretty much just learning how to sew a straight line, and that was about it. And then I did do a project with my mom when I was in high school. We made some pillows. And then in 2019, I wanted to make a skirt. I was going on a Disney cruise, Marvel themed Disney cruise. And if you know anything about cruises and Disney especially, is you gotta have like, you don't have to, you should, and you'll feel like part of the group if you have clothing that matches your group or matches the activities that you're doing. So it was a Marvel cruise. I wanted a Marvel skirt. I looked online, Amazon, Kohl's, all sorts of stuff, could not find what I wanted. And then on Etsy, like, things were way too expensive for a custom skirt, and all it was just fabric with elastic. And I was like, I can make that. I can do that. So I watched some tutorials and I used my mom's sewing machine, and it was horrible. It was like the worst thing I've ever made, but I did it. I made it. I finished it. I wore it. I got so many compliments and I was so proud of what I did, even though it wasn't the same length as the front and back, and I don't think it was the right width. I think I had to wear a belt to make sure like it didn't fall off, but I was really proud of my accomplishment and that I did it. That was back in 2019. During that time, I did already have my Etsy shop because I had worked as an assistant manager at a store called Paper Source, which is kind of like Hallmark meets Michaels, crafty items, constructional classes, as well as little knickknacks and trinkets, gift items. So I learned how to make cards, and I thought, I can make this, I can sell this, and I figured out what the rules were, what I wasn't allowed to do. And just to keep everything straight and aligned, I only bought things from Michaels, nothing that we sold in the store, so that I could never be accused of using my discount to make money. So I went and I was working full-time, going to school full-time, trying to do this Etsy thing and make cards, and I got a couple orders here and there, mostly just from friends and family. I did a lot of different wedding things for my friends, made what is it called? The guest charts, I made wedding invitations for another friend. I've made thank you cards for weddings. So I've done like a lot of wedding related things, as well as like one-off cards here and there. So I was continuing to make cards at that time when I had made the skirt, and I was interested in sewing and wanted to get into it. But if you know anything about crafting, there is the buying of the stuff, and then there's the actually doing the craft. And I already have so much stuff. I am a hoarder at heart and nature. I am not a minimalist by any means. So I did not want to get into sewing because I knew I already had so much paper crafting stuff. I didn't need a second hobby. Well, fast forward to 2020, COVID hits. I'm working in a Home Depot. I didn't work for Home Depot, and we were open the whole pandemic. And so I hand sewed, and I hate hand sewing. If you've ever watched any of my videos, not about it, not gonna do it. So I hand sewed my own face mask and was wearing it, and predominantly there's a lot of guys that work at Home Depot, and they're all like, make me a mask, make me a mask. I'm like, I don't have a sewing machine. And I barely had any fabric. The fabric that I had this one little bin, like maybe this size bin, with the different sewing stuff that I had, the leftover fabric from the Marvel skirt, and that's all I had. And I got enough like pre-orders or promises, oh, I'll buy a mask, I'll buy a mask, I'll buy a mask, from the guys that I worked with, that I knew I was going to buy a sewing machine. I didn't know what I was going to buy. Was I just going to buy the $100 machine and then I would have a sewing machine, I would have the ability to make these masks and help my friends out? Or was I going to buy the $400 sewing machine that could also do embroidery? And I love embroidery. I love getting a monogram on something, and then also having my business. I'm like, oh, I can expand. I can make things that are higher value, that are higher price. So after much deliberation, I ended up picking the Brother SE600, which is a $400 sewing machine, which was a big pill to swallow. It was my biggest investment up to that point in my business. I'd only invested in, stamps, ink, paper here and there, nothing even more than 100 at a time. But bought the $400 sewing machine, used up the fabric that I had, and I even had the fabric cut to make a second skirt, and I ended up cutting that up into masks. And between like the people I worked with, friends and family, people in my apartment building, I paid off my sewing machine in like a month with masks. So and I was able to help people out and get them masks. And I would work all day and then go home and just sew all night. And like, I was not sleeping, going to school, working, doing the masks. Oh, it was exhausting. I did not sleep. Anyways, so past that, I was like, okay, I want to add sewing with stuff to my Etsy shop. And I was selling through my Tansley Paper Co. paper Etsy shop. So I was like, I'm not going to start a second one just because I, pivoted and learned how to do something new. It's still part of my brand. My name is important to me. I like that it has my maiden last name in it. And then I based it off of Rifle Paper Co. I love Rifle Paper Company, and they also have paper and fabric. And so they were a big inspiration to me. And then my last name, so that's why I did Tansley Paper Co. And so I made the masks, and then I was like, what else can I make? So I went on YouTube, watched some tutorials, and then started making stuff and taught myself via YouTube videos and trial and error and a lot of seam ripping and a lot of not so nice words to my sewing machine of success and failure, lots of prototypes, figuring out what works, what doesn't work, which projects I will never make again. I made these bowl cozies. They have since been the bane of my existence, the worst project that I've ever made. I don't know, that pop-up pouch, that was frustrating. Anyways, that's the most frustrating project I've had to date. But having the sewing stuff added into my paper shop, I had only been selling online. Then come 2021, I started doing my first in-person shows. Was in April of 2021. I did my first in-person show. I had cards, I had the sewn items, scrunchies, key fobs, individual cards, card sets, bookmarks, things like that. And kept my name, Tansley Paper Co. Did some shows, got feedback here and there, made improvements on my booth, made improvements on my signage, made improvements on my products. Just the amount of time that I spent sewing, I probably sew a minimum of 20 hours a week, if not more. And practice makes perfect. So just the amount of time that I've spent doing the craft, that I have really become more proficient in it. Anyways, as shows go on, I start getting so many, I don't know a better word than insults from customers, other vendors. What is your booth? Your booth doesn't make any sense. Why is your name Tansley Paper Co? You don't even have that much paper stuff. Constantly, just negative. I would sometimes make my booth, sometimes not. I'm talking about booth fees. I did a whole video on this. Go ahead and check it out. So, I took all the feedback, made the changes that I felt like I needed to make. The show that was really the pivoting point for me, or highlight, sky clearing moment, whatever you want to call it. My lucky number is 2 or 22, and at a show in November, I had done the most changes to my booth. I don't believe I had any cards, no paper products, but I still had Tansley Paper Co. and was still getting negative comments about my name. I lost my train of thought. I made $222 worth of sales, and I said that if I made $222 worth of sales, I was changing my name. And at that show, I'm on Instagram, typing in different names, Googling different names, seeing what is available, what's not available. And I came up with the name So Sustainable, spelled S-E-W, sustainable. And my name is Samantha, so S. I think it's really cute. I also specifically made my logo. I made it through Canva. I specifically made my logo so that it was embroiderable versus my old logo was much more complicated and there's no way I could embroider it because I made the shirt myself. I did that in a video linked down below. So I went ahead and I got the Instagram handle, had to finish out my shows for the rest of the year that I already had applied to as Tansley Paper Co. And then starting 2022, I started applying to shows as So Sustainable, but then it looked like I had no credit, no nothing because I had a new name. Since then, every show I've done in 2022 has been much better feedback. Also doing the sewing items, I've been able to get a much higher return on investment. I can make a lot more sewn items with a lot less thought process than I can the paper items, plus I can price them much higher. So it's just been much more successful for me overall. My goal is I really want to get monetized on YouTube, which in order to apply, you have to have 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours of watch time. Right now, I'm sitting at 636, I believe, or 630, 633, which means that I'm 367 subs away from 1,000. My goal is to have 1,000 subscribers by Thanksgiving, which is 128 days away. That would be 3 new subscribers every day. I think it's a doable goal, and I would appreciate your help if you could subscribe if you haven't already, or share my video. I would greatly appreciate that, and every like, comment that promotes my video in the algorithm and people want to watch it more. So my overall goal after I get monetized is I want to move my whole business digital. I've already made some digital patterns, so if I can get monetized on YouTube, make a tutorial, and then make a digital pattern, then my amount of time spent on each item can be less, and I can spend more time on bigger projects versus right now I just spend so much time making inventory so that I have inventory to sell at shows, and then I can also do like 1 or 2 big shows a year, and then that's it. But yeah, my overall goal is to become fully digital. Then I'll make a tutorial and a pattern, and then that will be available, as well as sew along videos and thrift haul videos. Let me know in the comments down below, what are your favorite videos that I make? What are some other questions you have for me? I'm going to do a Q&A on August 18th, so I'll bring this up every video between now and then, compile all the questions that you have for me. So it could be anything about me, about my business, about sewing, about the journey that I made, anything. Go ahead and put your comment in the comments down below, and then I will answer them in a video on July 18th, or not July 18th, August 18th. Anyways, that is my sewing journey, my business goals. I appreciate you coming along with me on this journey, for hitting that like and subscribe button and sharing my content. Thank you so much, and have a wonderful day.